In Ellabelle, Georgia, a new Hyundai LG factory symbolized the future of American manufacturing, until federal agents raided the site on September 4, 2025. Hundreds of workers were caught off guard as U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement launched the largest single-site immigration enforcement action in Department of Homeland Security history. Authorities arrested 475 people, most of them South Korean nationals brought in for their technical expertise. The site was locked down for hours as agents checked identities and immigration statuses, sending shockwaves from Georgia to Seoul. The factory, a cornerstone of Hyundai's U.S. electric vehicle strategy, relied on a network of subcontractors and specialized workers. Days of tense diplomacy followed. By September 7th, South Korea announced a deal with the Trump administration to repatriate its detained citizens via chartered flight. While the immediate crisis was resolved, the raid left deep uncertainty over the project and the U.S.-South Korea partnership. The event raised tough questions about the future of international cooperation in American industry. The U.S. government called the raid part of Operation Take Back America, a campaign to enforce immigration laws and crack down on illegal employment. Officials said the workers entered legally under the ESTA visa waiver, meant for tourism or short business, not employment. This technicality became the crux. Workers were legal visitors but not legal employees. The administration framed the action as a warning to employers and a demonstration of its Buy American, Hire American policy. The raid exposed a disconnect between global business needs and U.S. immigration rules. Even major international investors aren't exempt from strict enforcement. The message was clear. Legal compliance trumps economic or diplomatic concerns. For companies, the risks of relying on foreign specialists in the U.S. had never been higher. The Ellabelle raid was a high-profile signal that the rules had changed. In South Korea, the raid sparked outrage and urgent talks with Washington. Lawmakers and officials saw it as a slight against a key U.S. ally and investor, especially after a recent $350 billion trade deal. South Korea had just pledged massive investments in energy purchases from the U.S., only to see its workers detained days later. The economic relationship is deep. In 2024, South Korea invested $26 billion in the U.S., and total trade reached $242.5 billion. The incident forced a reckoning in Seoul about the reliability of the U.S. as a partner. Many questioned whether Korean investments and expertise were truly valued. The raid risked undermining trust and future cooperation between the two countries. For both sides, the stakes of this diplomatic rift were enormous. The core problem is America's outdated visa system for skilled foreign workers. The H-1B visa is capped, slow, and increasingly difficult to obtain, especially under stricter Trump-era policies. For urgent high-tech projects like the Hyundai LG plant, companies turn to the ESTA waiver as a stopgap despite its legal risks. U.S. labor simply can't fill the gap. The expertise needed for advanced battery and EV manufacturing is rare and mostly found in Korea. These aren't general laborers, they're engineers and technicians with proprietary knowledge. Their presence is critical to building and launching new facilities on time. The use of ESTA was a desperate workaround for a broken system. Without reform, the U.S. risks stalling its own industrial ambitions. The immediate fallout: costly delays for Hyundai's Meta plant, with over 300 specialists suddenly gone. Construction and equipment installation stalled, pushing back production and racking up losses. In response, South Korea vowed to push for a special U.S. visa category, like those for Australia or Singapore, to protect future projects. The raid could chill further Korean investment, especially in planned shipbuilding and battery plants. The incident exposed a fundamental clash. America wants to onshore manufacturing, but its immigration system blocks the very expertise it needs. Unless visa pathways improve, U.S.-South Korea industrial cooperation faces an uncertain future. The Ellabelle raid is a warning. Without change, America's manufacturing revival may never get off the ground. The stakes for both countries have never been higher.